Good morning, everyone. It's that time again. How is everyone this morning? Stephen's coming up the stairs right now.
Sorry.
Sorry?
I timed that poorly. There we go.
Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
You have Pop-Tarts.
I do have Pop-Tarts. We have a lot of Pop-Tarts.
We do have a lot of Pop-Tarts. Because I don't eat them. Except when you have them. I'll have like half of one of yours.
Well, yeah, either we'll share them. We'll either share them or you'll just take bites out of mine until
Correct.
We've basically shared them.
But I have overnight oats.
I'm trying to get through my Pop-Tarts.
I need to make these myself.
Well, do
I think I'd like them better.
Well, yeah, then they wouldn't come from a box. Or in this case, a tube? If it's a plastic cylinder, does that
These
count
are
as a tube?
blueberry, and they only had the blueberry ones. I don't like blueberry.
Anyway, hi. Yeah, I'm still working through a box of brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts that we bought. Was it even the last shopping trip, or was it the one before? Container or cup? Yeah, those are both good choices. The mullet is coming in strong. Thank you, Nano Sauce. I'm fine with this. I mean, my hair is growing, equally on all sides. It's just the back goes down and this part goes wherever it wants, really. Actually, I'm trying to finish up the brown sugar cinnamon because we have whole grain brown sugar cinnamon that I'd like to try, but I haven't done that yet. Anyway.
La di da.
Is there any problem with these?
What?
You go to like take a bite
Yeah.
and they
then
get
you
all.
have to chew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how food works.
Queen Sleep says they have whole grain Pop-Tarts, right? I did not know this was a thing. I had no idea. My mom brought them to us. I was like, hey, I saw these in the store and wanted you to try them. And I was like, oh, man.
You know you can like open them.
Mallory, no. We don't open a package of food when there's another package of food.
But they're still like individually sealed.
Even if the shelf life is like 15 years. Because it's a Pop-Tart and it's not made of actual food. Anyway. Brandon says, how good for you could Pop-Tarts even be? I mean, not good, probably. I don't know what level of nutrition they contain. And I don't really even eat them that often. I've been eating those little
Sandwich things that you had
Yeah.
the last few times.
Those little frozen sandwich things. And they've been nice. But I'm gonna try something else. Right now, Mal and I we've managed to get our shopping trips. The average shopping trip now is we're going a month. So we're going 4 weeks-ish between grocery store trips. And then just buying enough bulk that we can make that work. And every time we go, I'm buying like a different breakfast food type thing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this next time. I'm not sure. Those beans are trying to get started early again. You see them beans? You choose not to accept. Choose not to accept these beans.
What?
That's enough beans. Okay. I'm trying to weigh it. I'm like, I don't know, we've been having a lot of early beans. Yeah, thank you, Chaz. That was my bean dance. I'm like,
Coffee.
That sounded like that one song, Chacaron. It's been a while since you thought about that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Been a while since I thought about it. I reminded myself. Chacaron, chacaron. I'm always glad to remind people of the internet like 10 years ago. Like, oh, we get to talk about something. You want to talk about strong bad emails? Yeah, let's do that.
Neopets.
Neopets. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna start this off by saying that there's something happening today, which is exciting. Even though we talked about it Tuesday, and I had some level of confidence on Tuesday, and then the confidence was shot and thrown into a ditch. Today is fan favorites. If you go over to StephenVlog, there's a premiere page. I don't know if it's the first premiere we've done. We may have done another premiere, but I don't think we have. I think this is the first time I've ever used the feature. And I think BC 2014 was the one who was like, hey, maybe a premiere. And I was like, that's right, there's a feature I never used. So Chaz has got the link there, but that's going to go live at 11, which means my role in all of this is to make sure the breakfast stream ends by 11. Certainly it will. I'm not challenging the chat on this. If we can comfortably end by 10:30, maybe a little after at most, that means everyone will have time to go to the bathroom and get a snack, and then watch the premiere. So, and unless something dire happens, I should also be at the premiere. So I will be there, watching chat. Chaz says yes, the break is important, please. Chaz will also be there, watching the premiere, because Chaz is interested in seeing, what's in the thing. It's great. So I'm not going to be doing like a live reaction with chat, but I will be in the chat. Maybe typing words, or maybe just like watching what other people say. Be like, they liked that part. Good. This is the premiere for fan favorites. So fan favorites is so basically like on Stephen Plays we do memorable moments like 4 times a week.
Coffee.
This would be like if memorable moments existed for the vlog, but we only did it once a year. That's what this would be. It's basically everything from 2019 as nominated by viewers to be included in a compilation video. So it's about an hour long, and it's just all of the fun, memorable stuff from 2019. But not breakfast streams, yes. Andrew in the Kitchen asked if it has breakfast streams. No. That's actually going to be a separate thing, and we'll talk about that probably next week. But it's cool. And actually, normally these things come out a lot closer to like February. But the advantage is, by it coming out now, when we're knee-deep in the mire of 2020, and everyone's like, God, remember 2019? I can show up and be like, actually, yes, I do. Here, do you want to be reminded of that? And everyone can be like, oh, cool. Yes, I do. That would be wonderful. Anyway, so that's
Happening.
That's happening at 11. So I'm excited about that. 2019, I'm pretty sure that was 30 years ago. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for people to see it, and mostly I'm excited for it to be out. Since I've had it from Dan gave it to me a month ago, and in my brain I was like, I'll get to that. and then just ellipsis. And then finally I was like, oh, I need to take care of this. So it's exciting. Anyway, let's read some alerts. We got 20 months from Josh A. Brom.
Coffee.
Coffee.
I finished my oats.
Good work.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you.
Oh.
You know who else is proud of you? Horses across America.
Good.
Because they eat oats.
I ate their food.
They're not happy that you ate... Never mind. You know what I mean. Maybe you don't.
Bless you, Taco Bell.
Bless you, Taco Bell. 2019 was a long time ago. It was. It was. Depending on who you ask, it can range from 6 months to multiple decades ago. Bucky Boy 2009, thank you for the Taco Bell bits. We had 10 months from Twitchy Toes.
Coffee.
Thank you, Twitchy. 7 months from Van the Tokamon. So 7 months, wow. Thank you all for everything you do to keep us entertained. Doing our best. 100 bits from Molly Thompson Music, appreciate it. We had 1,050 bits from Jesse from Anorak, which is morning. I just sadly learned that one of my biggest role models in the competitive Smash scene is a disgraceful scumbag person, specifically to minors. Really at a loss for words on it. Prayers and good vibes would be heavily appreciated. Thank you for being a stalwart beacon of good people. Love you guys. Yeah, I keep up with all of the news that I can related to that space, like I guess like YouTube and Twitch. There's been a whole lot of stuff coming out about that. A lot of people being banned, a lot of people being outed, and a lot of people coming forward and just admitting to things. And like that's good though, you know, like there's so many people out there to watch. There's so many people out there that are creating, and there are good choices. So I'm glad that there's a lot of information happening now. You know, like it certainly can suck to, you know, like if you've watched someone play Smash and you're like, this is great, and then you hear about stuff they've done. But you can also start following other people that play Smash too. So like, I'm glad that we're living in a time where information is more readily available. Not to get too much into like some of the stuff that happened in, you know, the past few months, but one of the best inventions lately is camera phones. Like camera phones have been so important for keeping people safe and keeping, you know, people held accountable. I'm just glad that information is more easily spread. And I hope that that encourages people that are, you know, getting into Twitch or getting into YouTube to walk a higher road, to know that, yeah, there's consequences for the things you do. Yeah. Anyway, still sorry to hear about that, Jesse. We got 500 bits from Ian Thay, who says, "It's my birthday. Can I get a schmerry birthday?
Schmerry birthday.
Schmerry birthday."
I'm pretty sure Carly is never gonna drop schmerry.
You know what I think of when I see schmerry?
Huh.
I think of the Wii Christmas game we played.
That's exactly why that's there.
Well, yeah, but why, when you say Carly...
That's because on Christmas, Carly called me and said, "Schmerry Christmas."
Oh. I see.
Now I just kind of associate it with her.
That's fair. Also, morning, Jules. And now when I see Jules in chat, I'm like, is he getting enough sleep?
It's breakfast.
Or breakfast. You eating a healthy breakfast, Jules?
Are you eating something better than Pop-Tarts? I'm not being a good example. Listen, you should really have a healthy breakfast with, like, maybe an egg. I am not getting enough sleep. I do not eat breakfast. Okay, just stop sharing information. Don't keep telling me. I don't want to know. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. Also, on the note of that Wii game,
Yeah.
it did find its way into the fan favorites.
Oh.
Get excited about that.
Seb says that Jules eats coffee for breakfast. Or drinks coffee.
And like that's it. That's
it.
the breakfast.
Yeah.
I have to. As a general rule, I feel like I got to put some food in there. Like if I like coffee in the morning, but if I don't have anything else, I get not well.
Yeah, me too.
Like there's got to be something physical in the tummy. Usually, I get shaky. Mm-hmm. I get really shaky, but that's probably because I just, as a general rule, need to eat large amounts of food. I can eat a lot of food. 7 months. From Alice Forsyth. Good morning, grandparents. Can't believe that it's been 7 months already. Just 2 months till I get my Twitch baby. I also can't wait till your Breath of the Wild stream tomorrow. Been playing along as you guys experience it for the first time. I also am very excited about tomorrow. Because now we're done with the tutorial part.
Yeah.
And we can just kind of do whatever.
Yeah. I've been sad we had to wait a week.
Now you know what it was like. You know what it was like to make, like, Skyrim and Fallout.
Yeah.
And be, like, really genuinely, passionately interested about exploring the world, but being stuck and being like, well, I guess I'll do more in a few days. Every few days you're allowed to play 35 minutes. And I'm like, okay. People are beating it a month later after it comes out, and you're like, I'll be playing this for years. It's fine. 3 into bits from Andrew in the kitchen. Good morning, Stephen and Mal. I have some fun breakfast stream statistics for you to digest this morning. The average breakfast stream lasts 1 hour, 1 minute, and 5 seconds. The beans are rolled on average at 29 minutes, 53 seconds into the stream, but the record for the latest bean rolling was at 53 minutes, 42 seconds on April 21st, 2020. Fun bean facts. I hope you liked the graphs. Yeah, I saw some of your graphs on Twitter, and they're fascinating. And also, they illustrate some things that I have either known to be true or, like, assumed. You know, we knew that breakfast stream was getting longer, and it was interesting to see that as a graph and be like, oh, yeah, correct. The bean rolling is interesting, too.
Yeah, it is.
Like 29 minutes, 53 seconds is almost dead where we wanted it to be. You know what I mean? Like when it started, the whole thing was like it's gonna start at 9:30, and that's almost exactly at 9:30. Now that average, like where that's gonna start, like that average is gonna change because chat has been like, you know what? What if the beans were in the first 29 seconds? But, you know, it's a pulsating mass. It's evolving all the time. You don't know how the show's going to change. And I'm okay with that. It's fun. It's like, what will happen? I don't know. No idea. Max says, remember half-hour breakfast streams? I don't. Been too long. See, that was one of the interesting things, looking at the graph of, like, it growing over time. It was not 30 minutes very long.
No.
Like, it was very clear that the format of the show was not really that compatible with half hour. Like, it was always going to creep longer, and it did, like, very, very early on. So, you know, we thought we knew what was best for breakfast stream. But the truth is, breakfast stream knew what was best for breakfast stream. We just had to allow it to happen. Anyway, 17 months from Happy Yoshi 1973. Good morning from your self-proclaimed official, unofficial door greeter. These past few months have been kind of bad. but I'm looking forward to maybe at some point this century getting better. Have a great day, grandparents, and to all my family in chat. Yeah, things haven't been great, but, the thing that I keep telling myself is that what is happening now is not normal, and there will be an end. And that makes me feel better. Like, I don't know when that end will occur, but what we're experiencing now does have an end, and then things will get back to normal. Could there be another thing that disrupts life at some point in the future? There could be, but for this specific thing right now, this second, we will get through it. And in the meantime, there's just a lot of long sighs. A lot of long sighs. South Carolina
has made choices.
And I'm like, okay. It's interesting. I'll just hit on this data point very briefly, because a lot of people have been talking about Texas. And I was looking at the numbers for Texas, and I was looking at the numbers for South Carolina. And I was like, yeah, Texas is worse. But I was like, I'm going to compare this to the population. And I did. And, like, per capita, South Carolina's worse. Because South Carolina's population is, like, 5 million. And Texas' population is 30 million. So it's a six-fold. But our numbers are not... Their numbers aren't 6 times higher. They're, like, 4 times higher. And I'm like, that's bad. So that's a fun little tidbit. Exciting. We just know how to party here in South Carolina. Is the mayor from Jaws in charge of South Carolina asking for a friend? No, unfortunately our governor is not the mayor from Jaws. Our governor's Foghorn Leghorn. We have 11 months from Night City. Almost to a year. 500 bits from Mr. Game Boy. Time for a hypothetical question. If you were trapped in any game of your choosing and had to survive for a whole month of doing stuff in said game so you couldn't just sit around, what game would you pick? Last time I asked this, I specified horror games, but this time I'll open it up to literally anything. You had to survive a whole month. My first thought is like, The Sims? Oh god, in a month? In a month in The Sims, you're like dead. The cycle of life happens really fast. That's probably not the best way to stay alive. I actually answered this question on a Morning Mario at some point.
Stardew Valley's a good choice. Animal Crossing's a good choice.
Yeah. Oh god.
I'll think about another really good
Banjo
answer
being
when
in
you say-
Smash. I am about to hand Nintendo my cash because I just learned that Banjo is in Smash. Don't you know that I really love that bird and bear? Josh is the one who said that in a car, I swear. Pretty sure it was in a car. There's a clip of Jepsen. I think he's driving, which he probably shouldn't have recorded while he was driving. But he's like, Banjo and Smash! It's great. That's 5,000 bits from Cool AL. Hoedown time, I hope, sing about Banjo being in Smash. That one wasn't bad. I did a few songs on Tuesday and they were bad. They're really bad. Anyway, I answered this question recently on Morning Mario, I think. Or there's one coming out where I answer it. Oh, that hair's attached.
Yeah, it's all attached.
I was down to here and I was like, oh, I have a loose hair. I'm realizing my hair's just long. I think I said Pokemon. Just because I thought it'd be neat. You know, if Pokemon were real, that would be great. And I think I could survive because Pokemon seems like well established. Just don't get like burnt. That's my biggest thing with Pokemon being real. I'm like, they would like burn everything down, you know?
Will you go to chat and scroll up a little bit?
Yeah.
Stop. Why is there a star there? Is it that platinum?
Maybe that's it.
Hi, you.
I believe so.
Okay.
The one Yeah, it's for tier 2 and 3.
Okay.
They have little stars.
Okay.
I think that's fairly new.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it before.
I'd seen it, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was.
Yeah.
But now I
did you have
now
itch?
I know. Nice to see you, buddy.
Oh, we got the itch ear. Look at that. Is that nice?
Oh, good kitty.
Yeah.
What a good sweetheart. 9
He
months.
was trying to get on your lap. I said my lap.
Well, you can have him. 9 months from Comic Queen 96. Good morning, everyone. We're vacationing at Ray's Town Lake right now. Fun fact, there are entire towns under the lake. Love you guys. Actually, when we lived in Columbia, South Carolina, there's an entire town under the lake there.
Is that Murray? Was that Lake Murray?
I think that's Lake Murray, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because they put up a dam and then they moved everyone out and then they...
Yep. It's
And
really
when I did
cool.
the sailboat thing on the vlog, if people have been around that long, they told me that they always lose anchors where a bridge used to be.
There's a bridge down there.
And they used to use one of the islands on that lake. Also, when we did the purple
Marlins.
the Purple Marlins, that was that lake. That used to be training ground for the Air Force during World War II, so they would practice dropping bombs. They found an old, like, B-52 bomber in that lake.
It's really neat.
There's a Tom Scott video about something similar, where there's a town on the waterway that goes into the Great Lakes. Anyway,
That's the Midwest. I think my territory.
that's also very cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's neat. I like learning about that sort of stuff. It would be cool to, like, experience that.
To, like, scuba down there?
Yeah, like, I'm not the type of person that would be comfortable doing scuba.
Yeah.
I just know me. I would be,
Yeah.
I'd be like, nope, not my happy place. But, you know, if you had, like, one of those unmanned underwater drone cameras
Yeah.
that have, like, the little sub, that would be neat.
Da.
That would be really cool. Joker says, did you know tier 2 and 3 subs have more emote slots now? I didn't know that they finally rolled that out. They emailed me, they email me things to, like, let me know things are coming up. And then a lot of times they forget to email me that they launch. They're like, hey, we got this cool feature coming out at some point. And I'm like, okay. And then there's never an email that's like, we released that feature. Half the time I find out about the, like, the Twitch events, like Pride Month and thing, and, like, the dates. I find them out from, like, Brandon and Fossix in our own chat. Because I know that they're happening.
And they have a Nightbot command. They have it all set.
But, like, I don't ever get an email that it's actively happening. Just like, this is going to happen sometime. And I'm like, oh, okay. Brandon says, we find out last minute, too. Yeah. It's... They could do a better job of communicating. Just in general. 8 months from Seraphin2000. Appreciate it. 10 months from your boys, Z Sweezy. 10 months. 10 is close to 11, which is kind of like 20, which is practically 50, or I'm bad at math. Also, I may be getting a job offer today. May not be a job related to my degree, but the job market is tough and student loans don't repay themselves. It's true. It's true. You know, obviously, people always want to try and get something in their degree, but you gotta, at some point, you gotta take what you can get. So,
And then continue to look for something that
yeah.
you want.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with just focusing on trying to make a living for now, and then focusing on degree-related stuff later.
That's why I took a job in elementary school, because that wasn't something I was super interested in.
Yeah.
My first year teaching.
Yeah. Yeah, Mal did not want to be an elementary teacher. But it was, you know, it was a good... I can't with a straight face be like, it was a good job. It was a good first job for you. I'm thinking, no, it was a bad any job for anybody. But...
I mean, I learned a lot.
But you did learn a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 21 months from Cassie. 21 months. Man, my streak and my subs are out of sync, considering my resub for month 22 is on the 11th. Oh well. We also got 6 months from Jared Dillon. He says, just recently got a new pair of glasses. Things are starting to look up, and so am I. Oh God, there's a spider on the ceiling.
Oh, there was a spider yesterday I meant to have you get that I couldn't reach, and then I forgot. Shoot.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't a very big one, thankfully.
Sometimes I look up, and I know the joke is like, you're tall, so you don't have to look up very far, and like, it's true. But sometimes I'll actively think about it. I'll be like, I'm gonna look at the ceiling now, and I almost always regret it. I'm always like, oh, there's like there's a spider living in the corner of the room. Sometimes I'll look up at the what do they call the vents in the bathroom?
Vents. The fan vents or like the heating vents?
Press X to doubt. Are they just called vents?
The heating vents or like the exhaust fans?
The exhaust fans, where you turn on the thing and it makes sound.
The exhaust fan.
Okay.
You turn on the thing and it makes sound.
In case you need sound, like if you go in and you're like, I'm estimating that the sound of me will be louder, or will be loud, and not, I want something to drown it out. That's why you turn it on. And also maybe for like when you take a shower. The purpose of an exhaust fan, fun fact, is to make sound. Does it do anything?
Stephen, what do you think it does? Like, think about this. They're always in the bathroom. They have a fan.
It removes like moisture, right?
It gets air flowing so the moisture doesn't stay in the room.
Yeah, because if you don't turn it on and you get a shower, when you get out, the mirrors are fogged. But if you turn it on, the mirrors don't fog. Therefore, it does something.
Yeah, it pushes the air out so there's more airflow.
But it's also really useful if you're at a guest's house and you're like, I'm going to do a number 2 and this is not going to be good. You turn that on so it doesn't have sound. Right? Not that you'd know. Sorry, you've never used the bathroom before. 6 months from Mad Riddler. Who says, finally have enough money to subscribe again. Been a long time. Well, congrats on Double Plus, and thanks for being here.
It's too brightful, can't be. He's trying to cover his eyes.
He just wants to snuggle this morning.
Hi.
300 bits from Prince. The past few work days may have been meh, but today is going to be a good day. I got a message. Gonna get a pedicure. Maybe it's massage. Got a massage. Gonna get a pedicure. Going to redeem a monthly reward at a cafe I have the app for, and gonna get something sweet to eat. It's gonna be a good time. And I know I'll be catching tomorrow's stream as well, so bonus. The only thing to make today better would be if I could get Pikmin 251 to stop crashing so I can get Orange Pikmin and move on with the game. I'm reminded that I'm waiting patiently for Nintendo to be like, haha, here's Pikmin. Have it for the Switch. Anyway, it sounds like you're gonna have a good day. So that's nice. I continue to be very excited about Breath of the Wild. 22 months from Tachi Gamer. 2 more months until I get that. 2 years. Yeah, we're coming up on that quick. 500 bits from Mr. Game Boy says, so the plan is to keep breakfast stream going till 11 and then all watch fan favorites together here, right? No. I mean, like, so certainly the chat here at Twitch is open, right? So, like, you could theoretically watch it on YouTube, but have Twitch chat open and talk in Twitch. There's no one stopping you from doing that.
But you're gonna be in the YouTube chat.
But the Twitch stream will not be live. But, you know, if you want, you can do that. But there's a, you know, will there be a chat on YouTube? Yes, because it's built in, basically. So do whatever you'd like. I'm excited that it'll be out and people will be able to enjoy it and remember the stuff that happened in 2019. 2019 was a big year, and like fan favorites doesn't completely encapsulate the feel of it because, like, you know, we show clips from like Japan and China, but you know, not every single little thing, obviously. But there, you know, that happened. And it's so weird to go from our busiest, like, international travel year ever to the year we didn't move. The year that we were in the house
Yeah.
like most of the year. It's a very weird dichotomy. 300 bits from Shishisama. Good morning, grandparents. My job, an arcade, got clearance to reopen. I'm not sure how long it'll be open with how everything is, but we'll see. Also having brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts too. Nice. Solidarity in our Pop-Tarts. Yeah, I mean, obviously things have been open here for a while, but the arcade is open as well. I'm not sure how the arcade is doing, but it sounds like things are fairly busy based on what Roland has said. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really seem like things have slowed down here. I think it's because a lot of folks are basically just coming to Myrtle Beach because they know everything is open.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it is a good way to get people here. What that means for the long term remains to be seen, but is it effective in getting people to vacation here? It seems to be. 2 months from White15 Wolf. Finally got to resub after trying All Day Tuesday. Just wanted to say this is an amazing community, and to thank Florelia for gifting me my first sub. If not for them, I probably wouldn't have stopped lurking, so thank you. Oh, that's cool. Shout out to Florelia. And also shout out to you, White Wolf. Thanks for being here. We got 300 bits with the Star Rain from Alice Forsyth. 13 months at Tier 2, Gold Toast from Tenderkraut, who says, good morning, grandparents. Good morning, Tenda. Hope you're doing well this morning. 300 bits from Item Crafting Live, Pop-Tarts, nature's perfect food. The nature and food parts are debatable, but they are perfect.
Freshly picked from the tree outside.
Why haven't they done that? That should be that'd be a commercial.
Pop-Tart tree?
You know, like Starburst, Starburst does all the like really weird commercials. It's Skittles too.
Yeah.
Skittles especially. Skittles always has done really weird things. That's what Pop-Tart should do. Like, we get the Pop-Tarts from the Pop-Tart bush. And then they go out and there's like all these Pop-Tarts and they pull them off. Are they allowed to do that, you think? Do you think that there's people that are so oblivious and uneducated that they would be like, huh, and then that would be a lawsuit? I don't know. Like, part of me thinks no, and then part of me thinks, well...
I mean, they could work that into part of the commercial, like at the end, like how they do with new medicines. Pop-Tarts do not actually grow on trees. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, Brandon. Do you think that there are people that are oblivious and uneducated? You can stop there, yes. I mean, there's certainly times where, you read a warning label on something that seems very out there, and you're like, huh, why would anyone do that? And then you're like, I'm gonna Google this. And then you're like, oh. Do you remember, there was a show, I don't remember what network it was on, but I'm gonna go with like TNT or something. And it was like, was it 1,000 Ways to Die?
Yeah.
And it was like really bizarre ways
Yeah.
that people had died. That was a fascinating show. I don't remember it very, very well, but I remember seeing like certain bits on it. Was it
on Spike?
So worse than TNT. Or did TNT become Spike? I knew that whatever it was, the bar was low. It was like TNT, but no, it was Spike. Oh, that's worse. Anyway, yeah, it was interesting to see like some of the things that had occurred there.
TNN became Spike.
Oh. It's like probably like a little morbid, but it was always interesting because you're like, oh wow, that happened. And some of them weren't even like that stupid, Some of it was just kind of got caught up in an unfortunate incident. And then other ones you were like, that was a poor choice.
I don't remember any of them.
301 bits from Squid with the Beanstar Rain. 18 months from Zach Gilman. I'm finally here. Work has been so busy. An hour both ways, starting at 6:30 a.m. Anyway, the contract's over, so I took the week off for Canada. Here's hoping I survive the heat in my gear, standing outside all day.
Yesterday was Canada Day, right?
it was recent.
What's today?
See, unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot about
Yes, it was Canada Day.
So that was yes. Okay. We took the week off for Canada Day. How hot is it in Canada?
I mean, it depends where you are.
But as a general rule, probably slightly cooler than here.
I mean, yeah.
But also, if you live in Canada, you are more in tune with colder temperatures, so it can get what we would consider comfortable, and people in Canada are going to be like, oh crap, heat wave. So it works both ways. That's why we can't handle temperatures that are lower than 60 Fahrenheit.
I've really wanted snow lately. Like this whole week, I've been like, man,
I've got bad news. It's
I
July.
want to go ice skating.
Like, to some extent, I'm like, well, climate change, who knows what will happen. But, you know, it is July in South Carolina. It's probably not the best time for wishing for snow. But hey, you know what? If it was still May and we were in Wisconsin, maybe. Because Wisconsin's had some wild stuff. But as far as, you know, July snow in the southeast.
This winter was super mild here. The winter before was really cold. Because, like, the pond out back of the old house froze over one year.
Oh, yeah, I remember
and,
that.
like, this past year it did not get cold enough to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It could get cold this year.
Maybe.
I mean, it won't matter. We're not walking outside the house. I mean, we go for little walks.
Yeah.
But, like, if we continue to leave the house once a month, it won't really matter what temperature it is outside, will it? If people are gonna... When I look back on this and people are like, well, how hot was the summer in 2020? I'd be like, I have no idea. Don't know. It was the same temperature every day. 17 months from Spinach Wrap. 17, wow. Eli is 6 months old now and loves your Yoshi's Island and Smash videos. Aw. I love that. Well, happy 6 months to Eli. I know that, I mean, time just as a concept is flying by. Enjoy your little one. I know that it won't be too much longer and all of a sudden it'll be like a year. But it's exciting. 300 bits from Merc2554. Normally in VOD Squad, but I've been learning how to use Twitch myself for events with friends this past week and been doing a bunch of tests. Very much felt like you, Steven, when asking myself on the internet, how do I Twitch? This stuff is hard but fun, and I hope it all pays off for a fun event to kick off the holiday weekend. There's certainly some learning involved, but I feel like I've come a long way. You know what I mean? Like, I really didn't know how to do things, and to an extent, there's a lot that I'm still like, what is this exactly? But when I think back to, like, you know, September 2018 and getting started, I'm like, no, we've learned some stuff.
Yeah. You know things.
I know things.
And Chaz just does most of it. The hard parts.
Yeah. Shout out to Chaz for making sure that I, you know how to do a thing, or reminding me that a thing exists, because that happens a lot. And then shout out to the mods for, like, not only facilitating a good environment for everyone and making sure that people are reminded of stuff, or there's fan art shown and all the other responsibilities that come with that, but then also for, like, telling me about things. Earlier when I was like, you know, Fossix and Brandon tell me about the Twitch stuff, like, that's important because most of the time I don't even know. They taught me how to use it. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's how you do it. Anyway. And a Shadowland says, shout out to the mod specifically for Breath of the Wild management of chat. Yeah. Yeah. Once a week things are gonna get a little hairy. Just for the fact that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to continue to go. Like, maybe everyone was just there because it was, you know, the launch night. Or maybe it will continue to be very, very busy. So, we'll see. We're going to be playing it for a few months. I get 110 bits from Macau 2020. Macau, thank you. 500 bits from Sparkstrike. I finished watching the Breath of the Wild VOD, and I'm so sad that I almost always have to work Friday nights, since it was delightful in pretty much every way. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I guess the good news is that you can catch the VOD, and they will be shorter. We won't be doing 5+ hours. Yeah. We'll be doing much closer to our normal 3. So they'll be a little easier to digest if you don't want to wait for it to hit YouTube. Got 9 months from Platinum Pikachu 153. Oh, hey, I have Triple Plus now. Just 3 more months until I get that nice 1. Also, Twitch baby, I guess? I don't know. I mean, yeah. We've decided that 9 months is Twitch baby, or it means that your baby raccoon is 2 months old. Depends what you want to celebrate. 300 bits from Shire says, fan favorites 2019, 7 out of 10. Not enough chiptunes. What year was it that I was hallucinating chiptunes? Was that when we were...
It was one time where we went to LA.
I think it was the beginning of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. It was, make sure you get enough sleep. Or you might hallucinate chiptunes. Was it on the plane? Yeah, there was something. It was before the cruise. And also, I think I was hearing it in a room. I think it was like, me and Alex, I had asked Alex if he was playing music, and he was like, no. And I told him about what was happening, but then he started playing chiptunes and being like, I'm not playing chiptunes. He's fun. 300 bits from Danny. I'm pretty sure 2019 happened before 1962, which was a long time ago. Also, someone just tweeted this to me the other day, and I think I had heard about it before, but there's a show called, I think the TV series is called Swamp Thing. I think it's a CW series, but I'm a little sketchy on the details. But there's a line in the show, and it says verbatim 1962 was a long time ago. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's my whole story. There's nothing additional to that. Wow, Brandon's got the tweet. Holy crap. Amazing. And I think, so I was looking into it because I was like, could someone on the writing staff be a fan of the vlog? It's possible. But it was more likely that something about 1962 is a year that something happened. I don't remember what that was. Did DC Comics get started then, or are they older than that? Maybe it was a particular character from DC Comics was started in 1962. It's the year to Taco Bell have. Taco Bell is my favorite comic book hero. So I'm not sure what exactly it was, but there's a meaning behind 1962. So maybe that's why. Or maybe they like our show.
Maybe. DC is much older than 1962.
Okay, it's got to be a character or something then. Like the comic book character of some importance and relevance to the show was 1962, because I looked it up. Maybe Swamp Thing is 62? Yeah, maybe that's it. It would make sense, because the show's called Swamp Thing. It was something like that. 300 bits from Gold Mage. It's this weird double standard that confused me so much when growing up. A shootout occurs on a television drama. Several people die. No one bats an eye. If, however, a woman does as much as take off a piece of clothing, well, someone is going to write a letter. Given the option of bringing sex into children's eyes earlier, wouldn't it be more beneficial to do that and educate them than to teach them it's okay to kill one another? Somewhere, Alex is stirred from sleep, vomits profusely onto the floor, and climbs back into bed. He's not sure what happened, but he has a familiar feeling from a decade ago. I'm really bad at formal writing. Let me write the good burn. Why couldn't all my papers in college just been the good burn? 16 months from Austin Mazel. 16 months, that's a long time. And I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope Kepi is doing good.
Are you doing good, Kepi?
You doing good?
Go back to bed.
Seems like it. Can't wait to see you guys play more Zelda Breath of the Wild. Good luck. Thank you, Austin. Like how Thomas shows up when I mentioned the good burn. The good burn? That was so fun to do. 300 bits from Waste and Aeon. I heard you were talking briefly about alcohol laws last stream, so here's the Swedish fact for today. In Sweden, the law was 18 if you drink in controlled environments, bars, restaurants, etc. However, if you're going to buy anything over 3.5%, you need to be 20, and you have to buy them at a government-owned liquor store called a Systembolaget. This was founded in 1955 to limit how easy it was for people to get drunk. That's a really interesting idea. I've never thought about that, the idea of controlled environment versus elsewhere. And like, I don't know, I obviously don't know anything past this, so I don't know what the data shows in terms of if that helps anything. But like, that's an interesting way of thinking about it. Like, yeah, in a bar or restaurant, you can drink earlier because the restaurant or the bar is controlling that. They can make sure that you're
stopping or...
Yeah. Huh. Neat. I like learning stuff about that. Because, you know, you grow up in a place and you become very intimately familiar with how things are done in that place. Or you grow up in a place that consists of 50 places and every place does it differently, and you talk to friends that are living in a different state and you're like, what? But, you know, things like that. We got a sub from Line Rider. Welcome. 1,000 bits from Gamer Girl. Morning, Stephen and Mal. I'm packing up to go to Door County in Wisconsin. Question, Mal, have you ever been to Door County? And also, I'll see you tomorrow for Breath of the Wild.
Yes, many times.
You've talked about it, but I don't know.
I've wanted to take you there. It's the peninsula. It's the thumb of the mitten. It's this.
The thumb of the mitten.
This part of Wisconsin.
Is that the place that has the water slide?
No, that's Wisconsin Dells.
Is that
that's closer to the center. It's like north of the capital.
I've been to Wisconsin, I mean, multiple times, but I'm not
Door County
intimately
reminds
familiar
me
with it,
of Kennebunk in Maine. It's kind of, it's like a little town and there's like a bunch of seafood. It's not like here with the big hotels. It's like all little inns and stuff.
Quaint New England.
Yeah, but it's
Wisconsin,
it's
not
on the
New
lake.
England. Yeah.
And there's an island at the very tip of the peninsula, and I want to take you there. And I have a friend in Sturgeon Bay.
So here's the weird thing about this year. This year has been, you know, good for catching up on things, but it's been bad for going anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's definitely creating this ever-increasing desire to travel at some point. Like, obviously, I don't want to travel now, and I want to be responsible and just chill at home. And also use this time to get stuff done, because that's good. But it does mean that, like, when everything is finally over, like, I don't know how we're not going to take a road trip.
Yeah.
And there's only one place left to go. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've traveled from California to South Carolina. We've traveled from South Carolina to Maine and back. It's...
You're still... Also, shout out to chat, everyone who knows Kennebunk. There's some vlogs where we go there, but they're not out yet.
Well, this might be the year. The last thing to do is to travel up through whatever they call that part of the country, like through the Dakotas and Montana.
Oh, that way.
What's that called? What do we refer to that as? It's not the Midwest, right? The Midwest stops at Minnesota. The
Dakotas are sometimes part of it.
Okay, well, what do you call, like, because there's
the Great Plains. Thank you, Missing No.
Is that what they call it? Great Plains. Okay. So after the Midwest, you enter into the Great Plains, and then you get to the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
So the Great Plains area is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we gotta get through everything, but then wouldn't that be something? That'd be a long trip.
Yeah, that would be.
But it would be fun. So, anyway. Gamer Girl, thank you. 3 months from Kiera Loa, who says, last month, I said that I started subbing because I used to watch with my fiancé, but we couldn't be together during quarantine. We're together now, but I'm so grateful to you guys for giving us something that made it feel like we could still be together. Well, that's nice. I mean, when Mao and I were long distance, it was always nice to have things that brought us closer together. So I'm glad that we can in some way be that for other folks. 17 months from Gadzooks. I worked all night and should be sleeping, but since I'm having trouble, figured I'd stop by and say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry you're having trouble sleeping, but you know. Hello. So that's that part's nice. Also, there's quite a few people saying we could visit John.
I would love to go up there and go to...
I mean...
What's the big Canadian park right there? It starts with a B.
John and Reese have been very adamant about, you know, inviting us to visit. And, like, that's fine. It's just...
That's where I want to go. Banff.
But, like, I didn't... when I think about visiting John, my first instinct is not, I will drive there. It would be fine, I guess. It's just not how I envision it. But we could, I guess. I've got to type that in and find out how far away that is. 13 months from Epic DXX. Epic, thank you. 16 months from Kate Carbon. 16! 2 months from Omega Nuke. Yo, Steven, Mao, how goes it? Pretty well this morning.
Yeah.
I need to get a shower.
Yeah.
And, like, knowing that I'm going to is, like, a relief. It's like, oh, I'm going to feel better after that. But otherwise good.
Mm-hmm.
500 bits from Mr. Game Boy 18. Okay, a new add to the game you are trapped in. You can keep any magic abilities or items or money. So if you pick Skyrim, you could keep shouts, or in Pokemon, you could keep 6 Pokemon, or some game where you make money, you could keep the money. What do you pick now? Oh, God. So, like, Pokemon is still a really good choice, because having Pokemon IRL would be cool. And then, like, you could get one that could fly, and you could, like, go places. You know what I mean? So that's good. I'm trying to think, what game would make you the most money in real life? My first thought is Wario. Because Wario's whole thing is like, I'm gonna get that money. The Sims is still a good choice. You choose The Sims, you live inside The Sims, you use whatever like in-game money to buy a computer, and then you just type Rosebud over and over for the month you have to live there. Shout out to any Sims players that gets that fun little reference. Like magic abilities. Again, like being able to fly and stuff like that would be... That's the only thing I want. Like teleportation or being able to like quickly...
Yeah.
Skyrim's a good choice for that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a Dragon Ball Z game.
I can't think of anything offhand, but...
We'll say Dragon Ball Z. I just want to be Goku. How do I do that? How do I train under King Kai? 300 bits from...
I know you want to be Goku.
Thanks. 300 bits from Goldmage, who says, so if a California sea lion has a Twitch baby, it would take them 11 to 12 months, not just 9. The pups are weaned after 4 to 6 months. Typically, the mother goes off to feed, and the pup is eventually forced to join the rest of the group in the water and hunt. Fun fact, sea lions can't use Twitch very well, but maybe they can write better papers than Steven. I mean... It's true. It's true. For what it's worth, I do think that if I was tasked with writing a formal paper today, it would probably turn out better than what my papers were when I was 20.
I hope so.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think I have a better grasp of language. And I think I'm better at speaking. You can watch the vlogs from when I was 20 and compare them to when I'm 30. I think I'm better. But my strength has always been creative writing and not papers. Fortunately, I didn't have to do too many papers in college.
Yeah.
You did. You had to write a lot of stuff about like art history and stuff.
all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I had to write like lesson plans and...
Chill days. I think I'm better at speaking. One word. Thermodynamics. That's not what I mean.
So good at speaking.
Multiple people did the same, even though it's like, Turbo by boob. Brandon says, I probably wrote 300 pages in college. You wrote a book. That's what that's called. It's called a book. I've talked about it before, but I had a psychology class
Where you had to write
where
a lot.
I had to write a ton of stuff. But that was formal, but it was so lenient. It was more about like the amount that you were writing and the experiences, and I did really, really well at that. And it was super easy for me to just sit down and write a ton of stuff. We had to do, I don't remember the exact details now, but it was like 10 pages single spaced
Yeah, that sounds right.
every week or 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of writing. But once I figured out that the professor just really wanted to hear our life stories, I was like, oh, yeah, all right, here we go. And I did really well.
Seb says, lesson plans are the bane of my existence. I never had to write full lesson plans after I graduated. In college, it was always like, well, here's your standards, here's a timeline of how this is going to go down for a lesson. And then I got into teaching, and it was just like, yeah, fill out this calendar and just tell us what you're doing every day.
Well, anything that makes things easier.
I mean, still having to write stuff out because things change so frequently.
Well, not to discourage any of the other teachers out there, but I'm just thinking, like, you don't have to do that anymore.
I know.
You're set. You just get to paint. I almost said the game you're painting. You just get to.
You almost spoiled it.
I did. I almost was like, you just get to paint this game. It's fine. We've dropped a lot of hints about it. And it'll, you just get to paint your... Loose lips. 510 bits from Marty Griff, 1980. Who does more testing, South Carolina or Texas? I was bored and was doing a quiz of weird laws in the U.S. 3 of them are in Alaska. It is illegal to push a live moose out of a moving plane. Well, that's good. In Massachusetts, it is illegal to put tomatoes in chowder.
Chowder.
Oh, chowder. And in Wisconsin, if serving apple pie, you have to serve a slice of cheese.
That's a law in Wisconsin? I know people do that, but I've never been served that.
I mean, I believe that. I believe people are like Caldar. For in my defense, it was written Caldar, but Mal got me on it's supposed to be chowder. A slice of cheese sounds like it probably should be law in Wisconsin. So, people are thinking that. Listen, it was written Caldar. It was probably a autocorrect typo or something, but I know what chowder is. I ate chowder on the pier of San Francisco by myself while thinking of you.
I know.
And being extremely lonely. And thinking, Far Cry's good. 5 months from Rumblefish90. Thanks. 100 bits from Grish Marker. 300 bits from Line Rider. Just made my first subscription to my favorite Twitch grandparents. That silly title means more than you may think to me, since all my grandparents had passed away before I turned 16. Guess that's what happens when you're a late child of 2 parents who are also late children. On a lighter note, I decided to start watching these live to fix my sleep schedule, so you'll be seeing me more often. Oh, that's great. It's funny because, like, for most people, I would think, at least unless you're, overseas, depending on where you are exactly, watching breakfast stream would mean that your sleep schedule is, like, good, because it means you're up in the morning. But for some people, if they're here, I'm like, oh, sleep schedule is bad. So, like, if Jules is here, like, I love Jules, and I hope that Jules tunes in whenever he can or whenever he wants. But if Jules is here, I'm like, oh no, that's not good. But for most people,
because 6 a.m. is early for West Coast.
6 a.m. is early for West Coast. Mm-hmm. But like Sammy5587 says, yeah, it's 2 p.m. It starts for me.
That sounds nice.
Dawn says it's 1 a.m. for me. So that's still acceptable, but... A song for the best food, Kaldar. Did you know that if you're in Wisconsin and go to a bar, you can ask them for a big cup of Kaldar? Kaldar is the thing that cows like to make. It's something you take home and then you bake. And it's very gelatinous. Gross.
What are you talking about?
I have to make something up because Kaldar's not a thing. You can't ask me, what are you talking about? It's a fictional thing. It can be whatever I want. I decided it was gelatinous. If you wanted it to be
something you
liquid,
get from a bar in Wisconsin that's gelatinous that you take home and bake.
Listen, you know why I said that?
What?
You know what's happening in my subconscious? Because you kept telling me all the time about how you would go to Papa Murphy's and get the take and bake, so now I've associated that with Wisconsin. So in my mind, Wisconsin has got brats and beer and cheese and Papa Murphy's. Those are the elements.
There's a Papa Murphy's in Wilmington.
I'm aware, but I associate it with Wisconsin. Papa Murphy's is my favorite bar. I'm just telling you where the word association comes in. I start talking about Wisconsin, and it's like, well, Papa Murphy's is a Wisconsin institution. They're probably from, like, New Jersey. I don't know. Anyway. 5,000 bits from Lanu says, a song for the best food, Kaldar. Kaldar. Anyway, 3 months from Queer Quest, who says, woo, subversary. In mixed news, I can't work for 2 weeks because my boss has been exposed, but I'm definitely going back to school in August, so I'm really excited. Yeah, it probably is the definition of mixed news. I mean, the good news of the mixed news is going back to school, so that's exciting. And then also, you know, being away from work for 2 weeks, it's not necessarily great, but at least you know that you are avoiding your boss and the exposure. So.
Yeah.
Or avoiding your boss if you don't like your boss. Maybe some good. I don't know. 11 months from Twitchy Toes. Hi, Stephen Mel. 11 months watching streams, VOD mostly because of work. Hope you all have fun. And hey, 6 months left to this interesting 2020. It's been a fast 6 months. Like, parts of it were long.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But as a whole...
Suddenly it's July.
As a whole, just suddenly it's July. I know we like to make the joke that it's been, 30 years. But, like, 20 of those years were, like, April. 20 years were April, and then the other ones, like, are spread out, so. 3 bits from Ziasarn. Good morning. Road Taken is one of my favorite Fire Emblem Fates music. Today's trivia is that there are many old buildings back from the Dutch colonization of Indonesia to this day. Some are museums, and some are still working ship ports. One of the interesting things that, speaking of colonization, I remember when we were in China, and we were... What's the first place we went?
Shanghai.
Shanghai, thank you. And there's parts of Shanghai that had so much British architecture.
Well, we were on the Bund, which is this big walkway between different parts of Shanghai, and there's a river between.
It's just
like,
really...
half of it was definitely from back when it was a British territory.
And it's just really, like, the visual differences are fairly extreme, and it's just really wild to see that, basically. Because there's, you're walking and you're like, oh, this is
Greek columns everywhere.
This is not what I would picture as, Chinese architecture. But the world is old. A lot of things have happened over the course of centuries and millennia. And it's interesting that we still have that. And a lot of that history is in China.
Yeah.
Because China is very old. 3 months from Hotshot Golfer 12. Love everything you all do. Keep it up. I love listening to you all while at my job. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Hotshot Golfer. 100 bits from Cal 2020. Appreciate it. Get 115 bits from DiddyEgg77. Thank you, Diddy. We get a sub from MXX16. Welcome.
La dee da.
I let him talk. 301 bits with the star rain from Squid. Thank you, Squid.
Star Rain of Chaz.
Star rain of jazz. 300 bits from Phoenix Nova. Future Steven. Kids, the summer of 2020 was a hot one. However, we had no clue how hot it was because walking outside was almost certain death thanks to that pandemic. I think for a lot of people, 2020 is mostly just going to be a blur.
Yeah.
You know, I like there's going to be individual things you remember from a year always, but I think getting past it, everyone that's in this generation, 2020 is just going to be like, it's going to be a collective big sigh.
Yeah.
You know, when people talk about this 5 years down the line, you know, and it gets brought up, people just go, whew, yeah. And that'll be it. And everyone that lived through this will just collectively know what that means. The big question is in, you know...
I agree with Joel.
2020 is a weird year to start writing in my techo every single day.
Yeah, because I used to write, like, this is what happened today. And now it's like, well, I painted. So what I've been doing is you can find journal prompts online, or, like, I'm in a Hobonichi Techo group that makes, like, a monthly challenge.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing right now is, on the left page of whatever day it is, I'm doing, like, a write-up for a gratitude journal prompt. And then the right side is, like, a personal history.
Yeah.
So it's, like, questions you would ask your parents, like, if you were doing an interview on their life to find out about their childhood and stuff. But I'm just using it to write as a prompt. That's what I'm doing.
I think it's a fun idea.
Yeah.
You know? Journaling is... We've talked about it at length on previous breakfast streams, but I think journaling is a really cool thing. Mm-hmm. It might not be for everyone, but I think more people should try it. It's a good way to collect your thoughts and, you know, use it as an opportunity to reflect on...
who you are in that moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's very easy to just, you know, every single day, but like when you've written something down, when you have some sort of record about what's happening, and you go back, you can kind of see your growth as a person for, you know, different things. It's interesting. Journaling / Techo is the only way I'll ever have a recollection of what happened that day, as my memory is very, very bad. Joel, cheers. Cheers to that. Yeah, the vlog is, you know, it's helpful. Because otherwise I think I would be pretty much in the same boat.
I think I saw 2 people say that they haven't been doing it as much this year. It's okay, your journal is not judging you. And
yeah, like...
the empty pages do speak for what was going on in your life, even if there's nothing there.
Yeah. Yeah. It probably says a lot about this year, too.
Yeah.
So. Some folks journal with a camera, not just any camera. The Sony A64.
Steven.
22 months from Lon, who says 22 months was a long time ago. It was. 30 years. 500 bits from C. Swavely.
Oh, it's
C.
been
Swavely?
a long time.
It's been a while. Hope all is good with you, lovely folks. Holy crap. Wow. Is Chris still here?
Chaz says, what a blast from the past. And so did Seth.
Because this was like, this alert is from 20 minutes ago. Holy crap. That's a name I haven't heard in quite a while.
And Joel recognizes that name. Yep.
Hey! Dang. Wow, it has been a while. I hope you're doing well. Man. Everyone's like, who is C. Swavely?
Someone we knew from before the vlog.
Yeah. Although they're on an early vlog, because I remember we went to the arcade? Not the arcade, but like the
gaming cafe.
The gaming cafe.
In Stevens Point, yeah.
Yeah. So
Is
that's
it called 80 Skunks?
Yeah, that's the vlog.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a vlog called 80 Skunks. C. Swavely's on that. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang, man. Yeah, it's funny because all of the folks that are from Starmen are like, oh, hey! so it's... There's people that are like, oh, I know this person. There's a before the vlog? There is. There is. I forget about it a lot. But early vlog stuff is a good reminder. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. There's so many folks I wonder about a lot from I was going to say the before times, but that just insinuates everything that's not 2020. Stay safe out there, crazy world. Amen to that. Anyway. Well, that was fun. There's so many other folks too from like pre-vlog times that I'm like, I wonder. Jill says, I wonder what about that wasabi milkshake guy. He's doing well. He's doing well. I talked to him 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've actually been talking a good bit, which is nice. I miss him. We got 300 bits from Waste and Aeon, who says, also, I just heard that Marvel teased a new villain named Null. That's not an appropriate word in Swedish, as that translates to a word that begins with an F, ends with a K. Interesting. I guess, I'm sure that, like, to some extent, when they're considering, like, names... Yeah, fire truck! Fire truck! Like, I'm sure when they're considering names, they probably take things into consideration, but then, if it's not their target market, it probably gets overrided. Like, they're like, it's fine. I just wonder how much paperwork and stuff goes into that. Like, how much they care.
How much research?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because, like... Frank. Thanks, NDL.
I mean, with like, Google Translate and stuff, I'm sure you could just be like, detect language, and type it in and see.
Well, here's the thing. Growing up... And I hope this doesn't get too hashtag serious, but I think a lot of people relate to this. Growing up, there's some level of, like, hope and understanding that people in charge, like, and this is for anything, whether it's, like, a governmental thing or people running, you know, movie studios, that, like, there's, like, a system of, like, checks and balances, and people are, like, doing research about the things, and then, you know, sometimes you get older and you get behind the scenes of some of that stuff, and you realize it's really, they're winging it hardcore. So, maybe there's not as much stuff behind that.
Carlos says Umbreon's Japanese name has got a bit of attention for that reason.
Yeah. So, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? And, like, I'm sure that there is still a lot of paperwork that goes on behind the scenes, but I guarantee you that there's plenty of times, too, that it's just like, yeah, it seems good. You know, you ever watch something and you think, how did this get, you know, sent to air? And you realize that maybe that the people that were approving it, or whether it was a small room of people.
Yeah.
You know. They didn't do a test audience. They were just like, there's 3, you know, old dudes in a room that were like, yep, sign off on that. 300 bits from Jared Dillon. I love learning about states and their weird little oddities. For example, in Nederland, Colorado, there are the Frozen Dead Guy Days, which is a celebration of Grandpa Brito, a man who has been cryogenically frozen since the late 80s / early 90s. Thought you might enjoy this since you have been there before.
That's where we got pizza with Lindsay. When we drove up there.
That little tiny town?
That was Nederland.
What? That was such a small place.
Yeah.
I just wanted to drive the car. I was like, I just want to drive this car. And then we drove it up into the mountains. And we got some friggin' pizza at, like, one of the only places that we could even eat. Anyway. That is neat. That's not a place that I would have assumed that there's cryogenically Frozen dude. You know, I hope that works out for him. Got a sub from Phantom Gerudo. Welcome. And also from Odd Anthony. Welcome to you. Turtle Dragoon with the Milk Bomb. 5 subs to Autag Melikoi, Keyblade Penguin, Skeptile, Starstorm 222, and Mandy Nicole. Turtle Dragoon, thank you. 510 bits from Tired Psycho Pop 91. Steven, I thought you disliked gelatinous substances or things that jiggle. Thinking back to a few comments from Twilight Princess about the frog mini-boss from the Water Temple, or the boss bug thing that you fight when you collect the last set of tears. If you dislike those, why would that be the place you go for Kaldar? I mean, it's true. Gelatinous substances are not my forte, but can I sing about them? I guess I can. Still don't like Jell-O. Have I ever tried Jell-O?
Yes. You had sugar-free Jell-O after your appendix was removed.
Are you sure that I ate it, though?
Yeah.
Is there video evidence that I ate it? Or did I just look at it?
I think you ate it.
That was a think. That was a thing. Pudding doesn't count. Pudding's delicious. Pudding is fine. But Jell-O, like Brandon says, if it's not on the vlog, it didn't happen.
Steven can't prove it.
It's true. I have video evidence. Otherwise, no, you drank it. Don't tell me that, because that might be true, and I'm not sure.
Andrew, have you heard about Kelsey?
God, Kelsey. I've wondered if if I imagined that. Was Kelsey real?
Yes.
Was her name Kelsey?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, she didn't introduce herself.
Maybe like she didn't even introduce herself to me, but I was just like.
But there were two nurses in the room, and I think I know which one was Kelsey, and she responded to you saying stuff about her.
Probably was weird for Kelsey. Like if she's in the room and I'm like, "Wow, Kelsey's great. Kelsey brought me a juice. Praise Kelsey." Hope she's doing well.
She was cute. She was like Haley height. Like she was like tiny.
I mean, I was laying in a hospital bed, so
and you don't
everyone.
and you don't remember anything.
And
about
I don't
that
remember
day,
anything.
So.
I could not draw you a picture of Kelsey if I tried. I just know that there was a person named Kelsey, and that's like the entire extent. And I even question if it was a real thing. Like, did that happen? I remember that I told Dan that I was sorry that we couldn't get Pikmin to him. And that's it.
Come here.
She's Haley height, so 2 feet tall.
She might have been a little taller than Haley, but she was shorter than I was.
Haley's got a 4 in her height.
Yeah.
And that's,
come here, buddy.
well, at the beginning of the height. And that's wild.
Hi, you. Look at, no. Stay here. Say hi. Say hi.
He's like, I want to be on, you want here, don't you? Is this where you want? Is this where you want? Where you going? Oh, is he choosing you?
No.
No. 4 centimeters. She is an ant. I mean, actually, well, like A-U-N-T, she probably is. 500 bits from Odd Anthony, who says, thanks for all the content you make. I appreciate you two very much. Well, thank you, Anthony. I'm glad you like our stuff. 300 bits from Noah, who says, thermodynamics fact. All substances have a specific temperature and pressure that allows solid, liquid, and gas states to all exist at the same time in equilibrium. This is called the triple point. For example, water's triple point is 0.1 degrees Celsius and 0.006 ATM. ATM, it says normal pressure on Earth is 1 ATM. I'm assuming ATM stands for something.
Atmospheric something.
Like,
Also, sorry, I need to interrupt you. Sunscreen Tastes Good is
Atmosphere.
here and said that they were gifted a sub before they even watched. So they were gifted a sub probably when we talked about Thomas licking the sunscreen.
Yeah, that's a thing that happens. Hi, Sunscreen. So, quick explanation. Sometimes,
Thomas says, "Yo."
and this has actually happened enough that like it's no longer that surprising. Sometimes during the morning shows, we'll be talking about a random
Thing.
thing, and when that happens, people will gift subs to the topic that we're talking about, and people like names that are closely resembling that. So it was it on Tuesday that we were talking about that? Maybe
It was in the
Tuesday or last week or something. So you got a gift sub, and the thing is, this has happened before actually, where gift subs have been given out to people and they've never heard of us or the show, and then they show up and they're like, I got a gift sub and I don't know what's happening, and we're like, yeah, okay. So welcome. The first time it happened, we were like, oh, that's really funny, and now it's to the point where it's like, yep, right on cue. Obviously, not everyone shows up or chats, so we appreciate you saying something, because it's very humorous to our community. And we've actually had quite a few people like stick around.
Yeah, Spud Big Mama.
I think one of the funniest ones for me was having Spud Big Mama then start watching like YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them post comments on YouTube, and I'm like, this is the wildest thing. This is like people gifted subs to potato-related names, and now we have like a long-term viewer, and I'm like, this is probably not the most efficient way to increase your viewing audience. But does it have some merit? Apparently. Apparently. Anyway, glad you're here. We got 500 bits from Mr. Game Boy, who says, that is a really strange sentence that speaks a lot. The blank pages of a journal speak just as much as a full page. That is so weird to think about.
I read that on, I think it might have been something they did with where they had people in Japan talk about their Hobonichi Techos, and they did kind of an article about it, and I think Fangamer Lindsay translated it, and it said something about that. And I try to tell myself that when I have a blank page.
Yeah. And like, to some extent, I mean, if you were having lots and lots of blank pages in a row, then you may want to rethink how do you want to approach the journal, But as a sole thing, as like having a blank page, that's not the end of the world, basically. But also, it's important to remember that, like, a lot of people's concept of journaling, like, I'm going to write an entire page of, like, Dear Diary, this is what happened. That doesn't have to be, your journal. Sometimes your journaling for the day might be a doodle of something that's relevant,
Yeah. Or a photo.
Or a photo.
Because I'll go back through my photos and I'll print little tiny pictures and then I'll paste it in for that day. I'll try to do about 4 a month like that.
Like if you watch, for instance, if you watch something on YouTube, maybe you watch a Let's Play or a gaming stream or something, maybe your journal entry for that day is, either about what you watched or like the game that was played and like how you felt about the game. Be like, oh, this was the first time I was exposed to Binding of Isaac, and it was really interesting. The theme is set up really well. It looks like there's a lot of replayability or whatever, so there's a lot of things that you can do with it. And I think that no matter what you did, being able to look back on it at some point would be intriguing.
Yeah.
I feel like you would learn something. Mr. Game Boy also gives a sub to Potato Steven. It's happening again. Remember, some of them show up. Sunscreen's here. Also got 300 bits from Toaster Wolf 99 with the Star Rain. Thank you, Toaster Wolf. And 400 bits from Sora Tunes, who says, "Do you read Tintin, Steven?" No. I know who that is.
Yeah, that's all I know. I
know that it's like a red-haired British boy who goes on adventures. How close am I? I'm pretty close. Did he have a dog?
Yeah, there's a dog.
But the dog is not named Ren. It's a fun joke. I'm estimating 5% of people even got that joke, and of that, 90% didn't care. I'll take it. But yeah, Belgian. Oh, Belgian. Tall Lucas. So, this is unfortunate, but it is just a side effect of my life and things about it. Oh yeah, he's got the Lucas hairstyle. A lot of times, if there's a series, a media series that I'm unfamiliar with, a lot of the times the reason I know about it and like my visual image of it is like a game cover. And it's just the way it is, like there's series I don't really know a whole lot about, but like I'm like, oh, there was a GameCube game, that that I know, or there's a Wii game that I know, and there's a Tintin game on Wii, and like that's how I remember it. I don't know if we have that one.
You okay?
T makes the most sense, but I think it might be under A for Adventures of Tintin.
I think it's under A.
A-D... Alice... Yep, I see it. Hold on. Oh god, it's just far enough where I gotta
You gotta almost get out of the couch.
Oh, this is like based on...
Yeah, there was a movie.
Yeah, this is a movie.
At some point.
Yeah. So, like, this is... to some extent, everyone sees the world through a different lens. And my lens is, like, game collecting. So I'm like, okay, alright. So, the adventure of Tintin the game. Neat. Enjoy all the best movie moments, including epic fights with a variety of enemies. Fearless reporter Tintin. So Tintin's a reporter? And he does have a dog. His dog is Snowy. Neat. We learned something today.
Careful, don't fall.
I'm not gonna fall.
Don't fall.
I'm not gonna fall. Anyway. Please peel the sticker off.
We kind of like to see what it costs, like...
It's kind of a fun look back to see what
and where we
things
got
were.
it. It's kind of neat.
Like, there's a part of me that wants to clean everything and make everything perfect.
Yeah.
But because there is so much, it's easier for me to just lean the other way and be like, it's fun to remember. But a lot of that is just the fact that I don't want to take the time to...
Thomas says, AKA we're lazy.
There's a lot of games. There's a lot of games. Like, I never did it for GameCube, and that's... whatever it is. I mean, well, it's $5.50, but then also we did Player's Choice titles because something's wrong with us. So there's, 600 plus of those. And then we're just about to 900. I don't know, there's 300 Wii games remaining, so that's nearly 900. 300 bits from DannyX6 says, back in September, I set a long-term goal for myself and determined to do at least one thing every day that moves me towards that goal. For me, journaling is just writing down what I did for that day to get closer to that goal. And yeah, I mean, I think that's good too. One of the things that we've been trying to do more is exercise and just move around, because so much of this year is sedentary, which I really don't like. So when we can do Ring Fit, we try to do Ring Fit, but if we can't do anything else, we try to at least multiple times a week go for a walk.
Yeah.
And we have been, which is good. It's been really great. Let's see. We also got 100 bits from Odd Anthony. Anthony, appreciate it. 300 from Platinum Pikachu 153. I have a box set of the complete animated Tintin series. I haven't watched it in a while, though. So it's... trying to understand better. It was like a comic, right? Is that
originally? I think so.
Originally it was like a comic?
I think so.
And then it became...
like
a media empire. It became,
a comic, and then
an animated series.
show, and then a movie, and then a game.
Yeah.
Isn't it...
Comic,
like
then
an
movie, then game. Okay.
old comic? Yeah.
empire.
Yeah, it started in 1929.
Oh, wow. I had this inkling that it was kind of old, but I didn't think it was quite that old. So
Yeah,
it's been around
yeah.
a long time. Dang. But also comics, and just in general, are old. How old is Garfield? It was created by Jim Davis, so it can't be like super, super, super old.
1 second, I'm looking at how old this is.
Because Jim Davis is in like, is he 70? Isn't it probably in the 70s now? Garfield was 1978. Thank you, Mike.
I was trying to see how old Asterix was. That was later.
Okay. That's still pretty old, but that's probably around that sounds right, so. Neat. Shout out to Jim Davis. If he's watching.
No.
Big fan. Next time we're up in Muncie, be really cool to tour the
what? There's nothing there.
the Garfield house. And by Garfield house, I mean his home, his actual private home. 21 months from Jay. Jason Jennings, 24. Good morning.
Chess said it sold.
The house?
I don't know.
So,
Anyway.
like, it's not there anymore? Anyway. 21 months from Jason Jennings. Oh, The Office. Okay. Good morning. Odd to be awake at this part of the morning, but the creek in our backyard decided to flood, so we are kind of in an evacuation alert. Fun. How are you guys?
I saw the message from Jade this morning that said that it was raining there again.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just be safe. Obviously, that's the most important thing.
I think I showed you the photo Jade sent me of their backyard.
I have seen, I think I was talking to Jay about this at some point, not terribly long ago, about the flooding. So this isn't like a super surprise to hear this. But yeah, just, be safe. That's not great news. We haven't, we've seen a lot of water in our backyard consistently when it rains.
Yeah, standing water.
But we haven't had enough water for it to be a huge issue yet.
Yeah, it's just kind of in the low areas.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if that becomes something at some point, but for now, it seems alright. 100 bits from Sora Tunes. Sora, appreciate it. 300 from Toaster Wolf. It says, so today I relearned how much lore from the vlogs I need to rewatch because it was a blast. Also, after years of very bad addiction to soda, I'm finally getting off of it with help from my boyfriend. I haven't been on this long, but I'm already at 3 days of no migraine. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Back in the early days of the vlog, we did the soda challenge where we were, where I was abstaining from soda and encouraging others to do that. Strangely, that's how I met Matt from Ed's World. He found the vlog at that time and was taking the soda challenge too. But yeah, I encourage people to, whether it's soda or something else in your life, to it's not that you have to never have it again, but having a better sense of control over it is really nice. And certainly there can be benefits, if you've gone 3 days with no migraine, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm to the point now where I'm DCD spanked. I'm to the point now where I'm only drinking soda. I'll have a single 12-ounce can once a week. And it's been like that for all of 2020.
Yeah.
At least. And probably much longer. It's funny because for the longest time I think a lot of people kind of looked to me as the soda guy. Because we were very enthusiastic about Jones and stuff. And I still love soda. But I really don't drink it. A can a week. That's about it. Don't assume you can drink sugary beverages and not get diabetes. Sephiroth gives a sub to Jim Davis himself. If there's any good in this world, let Jim Davis show up for breakfast stream. 300 bits from Padawan Becca with the Star Rain. Becca, thank you. I think we should probably go ahead and wrap it up. We got 20 minutes until the premiere of Fan Favorites. So that, again, is happening over on StephenVlog, youtube.com/StephenVlog. Look back at all the fun stuff from 2019, which is exciting. If you want to chat here on Twitch, you can. There's also going to be a chat over on StephenVlog as it happens. And, yeah, it's going to be fun. And I think at the time right now, when 2020 is just kind of like, it'll be nice to look back. So I hope that everyone enjoys it. And I'll be watching along with y'all. So, see you in like 20 minutes. Yeah. And 3 months from SoraTunes, who says, yay! Congrats on your plus. All right, folks. If I don't see you over at the premiere, don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we jump back into Breath of the Wild blind. And I'm just super excited. Game was so fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing more exploration and finding out more about this wild world.
And it's opened up now. We have the
We
hang glider.
can do anything we want. No agenda, no specific goals. Wander from one place to another. Although it's still early game, so like trying to like vaguely follow where the quest line is taking us might be beneficial because it'll probably teach us some more tutorial-esque stuff. But getting sidetracked along the way. Looking forward to it. All right, folks. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. We'll see you over at the premiere in about 20 minutes and tomorrow night for Breath of the Wild.